So putting down our aloneness. So the obvious question is why this title? And I think for me, the reason for it is to recognize that actually we do live in a web of intermutuality. And we can create for ourselves quite a sense of separateness and aloneness in terms of our practice and our life. And one of the functions, I think, of ritual is really try to open up this sense of connection back into this web of life of which we are all participating in. So ritual is really trying to heal this split, I feel, that's happened in the modern world between what we might describe as our the mundane and the sacred. The intention of this course, as I say, is try to bring these two worlds together to recognize that we, in fact, those are really crucial parts of our being, crucial parts of our experience. And when we lose that connection to that which is greater than us, more than us, we tend to then become isolated and lose this sense of something that we can really lean into for support. So a little quote: ritual is a conscious gesture or an action that is underpinned by an intention to connect to energy, transpersonal energy, for the purpose of transformation. The conscious gesture or actions underpinned by an intention to connect to the transpersonal energy for the purpose of transformation. So this is, in a way, the basis of ritual, is trying to reach beyond this sort of self-enclosed system to meet something which we experience as being in some ways greater than ourselves. So we can see that as, sometimes we can picture that as being something outside of ourselves or something below the level of our conscious mind. However we see it, we often don't give that aspect of our being sufficient weight to really be able to draw on it. So one of the ways that we create isolation is through imagining that we can have complete control over ourselves and the world around us. And that's exhausting, as we probably all know, to really try to maintain that control, that kind of structures that keep us what we imagine is safe. But unfortunately, as we all probably experience, life tends not to function in that way. There's always fresh material arising that shocks us, surprises us, takes us unawares. And the more we can come into relationship to that reality, then we can actually lean into and draw on that support of that which is coming towards us, rather than seeing it as a threat. So one of the main things that we're hoping to do on this course is to get a sense of coming out of our mental activity to really move down into what we might describe as the felt response or the embodied response. So just as we've been learning in meditation, how important it is to drop down out of our head into a more felt, visceral sense of meditation. This is the same with any other aspect of Dharma practice. We're trying to move from a sense of it just being ideas to being an embodied felt experience. You know, we are all simply process. But to really come alive to that and recognize that the sort of the depth of that significance of that insight, ritual really helps open that, opens that sense of being held or living within a much larger context in which we are affecting each other, and we can draw on these very positive, beneficent forces, which we describe as the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the Buddhist tradition. But depending on how you see it for yourself, that energy is very much something that we can, we probably all had some experience of. So ritual is very much about creating this context so that we can learn to trust that we are held and supported by larger forces, which are either beyond us or deep within us, which we don't often give access or give weight to. And the more we can lean into those parts of ourself or part of our outer experience, we can really begin to make this sense of self much more fluid and alive and creative.